Hey guys, welcome back to Sanders Aquatics. Tonight we're going to show you how we breed Turkana Joels. Turkana Joel is a gorgeous fish. I came across these about a year ago in a pet store, and I have never seen them. They're just absolutely jaw-dropping fish. They started breeding for me, got me back into breeding. I used to breed fish when I was younger, and these guys are the ones that inspired me to get back into this. I accidentally bred them. The mom and papa killed every single other fish in the tank. But I've been with trial and error here for the last year, getting these guys to where I have perfected on how to breed them, how to get the highest yield out of them, and keep everybody happy. So if you're going to keep these guys and they start to pair off, you need to separate the ones that are paired off. They get extremely aggressive when they're sitting on babies. This particular pair we have in here tonight, they're sitting on eggs. When we decided to shoot this video, they still had their eggs out in the open. After about 3 or 4 days, Mama's going to take these eggs and she's going to move them and hide them again. She'll take out the old ones that are starting to fungus. They do a real good job of taking care of their eggs and taking care of the fry. So this tank here, they have taken and hidden their eggs. I'm going to attempt to find them without making these guys mad. They are very temperamental when it comes to their eggs and protecting their fry and protecting their eggs. They're extremely mean. I've had to where I've collected babies out of here and they are physically attacking my hand and attacking the net and pulling and tugging and doing everything they can to keep them out of there. And I've tried several different methods. I've tried pulling the eggs and putting them in a very pristine environment. Doesn't ever seem to work. This setup here, particularly where I've got mulm in here, algae in here, the babies seem to thrive. I have the highest yield I get out of anything. I've got terracotta pots set up in the corners. They always seem to lay their eggs inside the terracotta pots. They'll guard them ferociously for a couple of days, and then they move the eggs, hide the eggs, and they give you a heart attack because you can't find them. And a couple of days later, you have 100 or so fry that are out swimming around. They really like to have something blocking the front of wherever they're going to lay their eggs. Like in front of each one of these terracotta pots, I've got plants intentionally put in front of this one, and I've got an old decoration that I had in here. And I intentionally set up a line of sight breaker inside of each tank that I go through and breed in. Like this one here, I've used a piece of driftwood, because when they do get to that point, they become extremely aggressive, and the male will kill the female if she can't get away from them. So I'm going to dip in here and I'm going to see if I can find the eggs to show them to you tonight. These guys may get mad at me and try to attack me. I think they've hidden them down here in this breeding cave down here. You see, I'm pretty sure Mama's down inside of here, and there's a good chance I'm about to get bit. Oh yeah, she's hid them down in there. I can't quite get a good picture of them though. There's a good chance I'm about to get bit. Of course, I can't get a good picture of them. Not the best video, but if you take the eggs out of this tank, these guys are kind of funny, and they will sit and they will mope for about 3 or 4 weeks before it's time to spawn again. They won't do anything. They will lay on the bottom of the tank and they won't do anything but come up and eat. So what I'm doing here, right at about 80 degrees is what I keep the tank. It seems to hold the highest yield, the best success rate, and these guys seem to be about as happy as could be. So I'm going to show you the different stages of where we're at, what we're doing, how we're growing them out. So here, once the babies hatch out, I'll leave them with mom and dad for about 3 weeks. Once they start to get like a horizontal line across them, that's about the time that you need to pull them out. And be aware they are going to attack you, and they're going to attack your net to try to guard these babies. If you go more than about 4 weeks without pulling them out, they'll kill their own babies to set up the next batch. What we're feeding them, we're using basically just first bites. Really simple, really easy. This stuff goes a long way. But the other side of this is I keep all the mulm and algae in the tank so that they can feed off of it constantly. So the next stages we have on these fish here, we've got some down here. These are the ones that we actually have for sale. I keep this one here set up on purpose the way that it's set up. I keep a whole boatload of hornwort floating on the top. I keep a bunch of mulm and stuff down there in the bottom. Keeps all that beneficial bacteria, something for them to nip at and eat at all the time. And you can see these guys are just gorgeous fish. These are about 6 months old. It takes a little while before they start to color up. And I do have one oddball. I've got an albino in here, and I'm intending on breeding this fish. But these guys here, I can't quite tell if that's a male or female yet. But the males and the females, and I'll put up a quick picture here to show you the difference between the males and the females. The female is a lot brighter, a little more robust. The male's a little bit darker and a larger fish, but she's getting fat where he's nice and pretty. The next stage I'll show you here, this is the fry that we have. These guys are about 6 weeks old. This is the last batch that our breeding pair here put out. All right, so this is the last batch we have. These guys are about 6 weeks old. And when I was talking about the time to remove them, you see the vertical line that goes across, or the horizontal line that goes across these guys. Once you can start seeing that real well, that's the time to take them away from mama and papa, because they are going to terrorize them, unfortunately. But once they get to the point and you can start seeing that line, you can get them off the fry food. You can get them to the point they'll take crush flake pretty well. But this is one batch out of these guys here, and there's probably 100 fry in here. So if you follow what we're doing, you'll get a really, really high yield rate. The keys to it are temperature, the setup of the tank, the way that you set the tank up so that you break in line of sight, so they can't see each other when they don't need to see each other, and basically allow them to raise their fry. They're really, really good at raising the fry for the first few weeks. The setup in there to keep the mom and the algae in there real strong. It gives the babies always something to feed on. I've tried pristine conditions. It doesn't work. It may for somebody else. It didn't work for me. Best way I've done it, and I've done it in every single one of these tanks that I've got them in. I've got a ton of mom, ton of algae for them to feed on. They've always got something in the tank. Like this one here, I got a couple plants floating up in there. It's on purpose. It seems to make these guys happy, and they all seem to get along and grow real. What you expect out of these, it's about every 5 to 6 weeks, you're going to get a new batch of babies. If you do really well with them, you're going to have more of them than you know what to do with. They're newer in the hobby, so people seem to really actively want them. We've had a lot of success taking them and moving them, and when we have them, people are they're looking for them and asking for them. Gorgeous fish. Temperament, I have put these guys in with a couple of different tanks that I have to try out their temperament. Jules are known for being just mean fish. These guys are not the case. They're a lot more passive. They get along really well as long as they're not in a breeding state with like semi-aggressive tanks. They do well with gouramis, some barbs, maybe some tetras, danios, things along those lines. They'll get along pretty well with. They can hold their own against some bigger fish. You get them in there with some severums and convicts, they'll be fine. I wouldn't go too mean, no jaguars or anything like that can eat them, because they're only going to get to be about 4 or 5 inches. That's about their max size. But in closing, one last time, just reiterate, set up the tank to where they've got blockage in front, 80 degrees, some kind of coverage that floats over the top, lots of algae, lots of mulm. You'll have a humongous yield rate out of these guys. So if you guys have ever bred these Jules, you got a better way to do it, something else, I'll try something else. Maybe we'll get a better rate than what we're getting. This, like I said many times, this is about everybody, not just about me. So if you have comments, tips, tricks, anything else that you think might help, please let us know. But thanks again for watching Sanders Aquatics. Like it, share it. Thanks.